The following is a hoop ball presentation. Welcome to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast.
Hello and welcome to Fantasy NBA Today. My name is Adrian Benjamins and I'm joined by Coach, and this episode is brought to you by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee Company. Get some delicious coffee and taste the Kona difference. Head over to hawaiianisles.com or Amazon and get some coffee. Coach, are you drinking some coffee, man? I needed a cup after last night. How was your 4th of July, man?
Yo, Adrian, how are you, my man? I am on cup 2 of Hawaiian Isles Kona coffee, man. So I've got to jump on you here in Central Time. So I'm already reloaded and ready to roll and enjoying my Kawhi 5th 2019 because they've renamed July to Kawhi now. Since that's all everybody cares about. Did you see my tweet yesterday? They had the helicopter falling over your head. It's crazy.
Well, I've never seen anything like that, right? They had his plane landing, the helicopter following his car. It was just ridiculous, man. Just ridiculous. But, man, Coach, we had no agenda for this show, but what else can we talk about? It's all anybody is talking about. Where is Kawhi Leonard going to sign? What are your thoughts, Coach? Coach, for me, it's two choices. It's the Lakers. It's staying in Toronto with the Raptors. I don't really think the Clippers are in it. Some people believe the Clippers are in it, but for me, you got to sign with Anthony Davis and LeBron, maybe the biggest, the largest, best big three ever assembled. If that happens, Coach, I can't think of a more talented trio of NBA players on the same team. It would be incredible. Or you stay in Toronto where you've already won a championship. They can keep that team intact and basically run it back. He knows what he's got there. I'm hearing he loves the organization. He loves the staff. He didn't want to go to Toronto, but he's won over. So, Coach, what are your thoughts? What do you think? If you had to bet, if you absolutely had to make a decision, Coach, what would you do?
Well, man, let me preface it by saying Kawhi Leonard is the oddest enigma of any player I've ever seen in my lifetime in the NBA. As far as trying to predict what that guy's going to do is like predicting the weather, in Hawaii. God only knows. So, I mean, I don't think anybody knows for sure. I mean, I can see all the different moves taking place, but I heard a report from Jalen Rose where he said he's 99% sure that Kawhi is going to re-sign with Toronto. I don't think Jalen usually puts himself out there unless he feels pretty confident. But, knowing Kawhi, he could hear that and just change his mind. I mean, he's the most bizarre guy to figure out ever. Personally, not to offend the Lakers hoopballer fans out there, but I don't want to see him go to the Lakers because that would be just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, like you said, it would definitely be the best trio that ever played on the same court together. I don't care about the old Celtics teams with Kuzi and Russell and those guys, and the Lakers teams with, West and all the fantastic players. But this, I think really would be the best trio. They arguably are the top 3 players in the league. So I'm hoping he doesn't go to the Lakers. I'd like to see him go to the Clippers because I think that would be fun. And I like Doc. I think that'd be cool. If he stays in Toronto, that's fine too. I mean, I have no idea, dude. I really don't. But I wish he would make up his mind because there's about 10 or 15 guys waiting to slot in. And I know the Mavericks are waiting here on a lot of these guys like Danny Green and et cetera, et cetera. So soon as we get the Kawhi news, which I would assume would be sometime today, I hope, maybe after this podcast airs, it'll be done. But hopefully, we'll get an answer and get the rest of this free agency done. Because, brother, 48 hours from right now, my son and I will be down there hobnobbing with LeBron with his big shorts on and all the fun stuff.
Coach, dude. I am so jealous that you're going to Summer League, man. I wish I could go. Coach, you are going to be our eyes and our ears on the floor at Summer League. You got to report back to us what's going on. Give us the inside scoop. Give us the behind the scenes that you can't see watching it on TV. Coach, tonight I am really excited. I know you're not going to be there for a few more days, but Zion Williamson and the Pelicans versus his good friend RJ Barrett and the Knicks. Oh, Coach, I am salivating over this matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, Coach, the Knicks, I think, are my favorite team at Summer League. Not in reality or not for regular season, but, Coach, for Summer League, they got RJ Barrett, Knox, Mitchell Robinson, I think Alonzo Trier. If I had to bet money, I would be putting money on the Knicks to win Summer League. So, Coach, I'm so excited for you, man. I know you're going to have a blast down there. Super jealous, man.
It's going to be awesome, man. I'm going to try to get as many picks and try to get a couple of interviews, and I'll be posting those on Twitter and on hoop-ball.com. And so you'll hopefully be able to respond to some of those. But just a quick mention, since you just brought it up with Summer League, last night after fireworks, trying to calm my poor dog down here from all of that, he was keeping me awake. So I scoured through the rosters for the Summer League, which starts this afternoon, just to see, which good players were going to be there. And you want me to run through that real quick? Just highlight who I think the big names are that are going to be in
Let's
impact?
do it.
All right, man. And then you can respond whenever you want to. But I went through all 32 teams because the China and Croatian team. And these are the highlighted names for any of you guys out there, wanting to scout these guys out for drafts that you have coming up, or if you have dynasty players, or if you're playing DFS. DFS has Summer League basketball today on DraftKings. So how cool is that, man? So here's my quick rundown. Atlanta has Spillman, Adams, and Brown as their big dogs. Boston, Edwards, Harrison, Williams, and how do you say his name? Usili?
Oh, Dancing Bear. I think it's Usili.
Yes.
I have trouble with his name too.
It's a rough one, but I think he'll be pretty good. Brooklyn has Kurucs, Pinson, and Jared Allen. So we'll look out for Brooklyn. They're a team that could make some noise.
Hey, wait.
The only guy.
Can we talk about Jared Allen for 1 sec? Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you did say just chime in because Jared Allen, why is he at Summer League, man? He's already an established NBA player. It's very rare you see a guy. I mean, he's already in. Off the top of my head, I know he's already played at least 2 or 3 seasons. So So I'm kind of surprised he's there. And then the other thing that's kind of weird, Coach, man, I got a lot of friends who have Jared Allen on their dynasty leagues. What a buzzkill that they got DeAndre Jordan. I mean, DeAndre's either going to start or it's going to be a timeshare. I mean, Jared Allen, Coach, last year, one of the biggest risers in fantasy last year, especially draft time last year, man, he was getting drafted in like the 3rd round. You mentioned him. His name is just like in my head because I don't know what to expect for him this upcoming season, Coach. What do you think?
I was shocked. I mean, I guess obviously whatever Kyrie and Durant wanted, the Brooklyn would have done. And they had mentioned both that they were willing to give up money to get DJ there. So, the monster buzzkill for the Allen fans. And I'm not sure. Actually, what I did on my board is I crossed both of them off because I really don't want 2 guys splitting 20-some minutes apiece every night, which is what I think they'll do. For some reason, Brooklyn doesn't have the utmost confidence in Allen. They've showed that over the last 2 seasons. Is he doesn't always get a ton of minutes. I think they're just having him play summer league to get a little more timing, especially with Kurucs, because both of those guys could be in the starting lineup.
Good call.
But, yeah, you're right, man. But I think Brooklyn's a team to watch, and I think those two guys will play well. I hope he steps up and says, all right, you signed DeAndre, I'm going to come up here in summer league and just blow everybody out, because he could block 5-6 shots a game in summer.
All right, Coach, sorry to interrupt you. Get back to your list. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Charlotte, Bridges. The Bridges that I like better than the Bridges in Phoenix. I like I think he's going to be a starter and maybe one of the key players.
Coach,
for Charlotte. I was sort of shocked he's playing summer league.
Miles Bridges, I'm glad you mentioned him. He's on my sleeper list for this season, and he's approaching. I got like a ride or die list I usually make for the upcoming season. Guys I have to have, and he's like on the cusp of making that. I believe Coach Borrego already mentioned that he could possibly start. Coach, if this guy's going to start, he flashed some major potential last season, and this is a guy that I was not on my radar at all last season. I didn't really know what to think of him when he got drafted in college. I wasn't that high on him. And, Coach, he won me over, man. I love this guy. He's going to end up, I think, on a lot of my fantasy teams for this upcoming year.
I'm 100,000% with you, dude. We think exactly the same. I mean, I have him on both.
You lucky duck.
And he's on my top 10 must-have list wherever I feel like I need to take him in my upcoming drafts. Because I agree with you. I mean, they got rid of everybody, Lamb and everybody. So he's got to be a key featured guy. And he did well last year.
In my Hoopball Dynasty League, this is a 2014 league, I got the number 4 pick. So we're drafting all the incoming rookies. I'm looking at Darius Garland there because obviously Zion, Ja, and probably RJ Barrett are going to be off the board. So I'm looking at Garland. Coach, I am going to see in my league what team has Miles Bridges. I might offer the number 4 pick if he's willing to get rid of Miles Bridges. What do you think about that? Do you think I'm making a mistake there?
No, I'd do that.
Awesome.
No question.
Awesome.
Man. I mean, Miles is only like 21 years old. I mean, he's
so unfortunately, I think the team manager who has Miles Bridges is really high on him. So most likely, I'm going to get denied. But I'm going to float the offer out there and see what happens.
Dude, give it a shot. Try to tell him, hey, I heard talk to the other guy. Zion's going to slip to number 4, so you might want to make the trade.
All right, dude, who else is on your list, Coach?
Chicago Bulls. I have 3 guys that played some good minutes for Chicago last year: Hutchinson, Lemon, and Kobe White, of course. So I think that'll make Chicago competitive and fun guys to see. You looking forward to seeing Kobe?
Yes, Coach, Chicago, a team probably at the top of my list is a team to watch because I like what I saw from Hutchinson last year. I think that kid's got potential. And then Kobe White, the Bulls board is very split on Kobe White. A lot of guys love him, a lot of guys not so sure. So I want to see Kobe White explode in Summer League. I want him to really flash that upside. So yeah, I am very intrigued by seeing the Chicago Bulls team. Who else you got, Coach?
Well, I want to mention also with Kobe, I'm in a keeper league now that we're in the middle of drafting. Actually, my pick just came up while we were on our podcast, so I've got to take a look at that soon. But I don't understand Chicago, what they're doing. They have like 5 point guards on the roster. They picked up Satoransky, and they still have the incumbent point guard there. So it scared me away a little bit about, with taking White. I think eventually he's going to win the job, but sounds like it's sort of point guard by committee at this
point. Coach, I
right?
agree with you 100%, man. I was at the draft when they drafted Kobe White. I was so excited. I was like, oh, it's the Kobe White. era. And then they signed Satoransky. They still got Chris Dunn, although word is they're shopping Chris Dunn. But I agree with you. I think, Kobe White's a rookie. It's going to take the point guard position. I say this so much, so hard to learn. Out of all the positions, it takes the longest for guys to get up to speed on. So I always give young rookies a longer leash to learn the spot, to kind of, I'm kind of shying away from Kobe White for fantasy for now, because I could easily see Satoransky starting here. But Coach, I do have to say, from a reality standpoint, if you're trying to win, if you're trying to go for it, I do love some of the moves they made. Thaddeus Young, Luke Cornett, they got on a good deal. I mean, they've made some really smart reality moves. For fantasy, it doesn't really move the needle, but reality-wise, I kind of like what they're doing, Coach.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions. It makes it tough for fantasy because you don't know how it's going to play out. But if you get the right guy, you got a good one. All right, the next couple teams are pretty sad. Cleveland, the best guy on their summer league team was Blossingame. I saw him play a little bit last year. He's not bad, but their team's terrible. Dallas Mavs, my squad, their team is awful, but they do have Antetokounmpo's little brother. He's probably the best player on the team there, so I don't expect them to do very well. Denver's was supposed to show out Porter Jr. He was going to be the star of the team, but he twisted his knee a little bit in practice yesterday and is out for the summer league. You talk about a guy that's injury prone. You got
Coach Porter Jr. missed all of last year. You're thinking, okay, he's going to come in ready to go, right? I mean, he's been sitting since his college year. He's been sitting.
Well, he missed almost his whole college.
And now a knee sprain, I got to be honest, Coach, I may be jumping the gun here, but I don't know, man. I am not a believer. I was really, Denver got him at a discount, right? He fell because of the injury concern. And Denver's loaded. So from the Nuggets standpoint, it was really smart, right? Because they're just hoping sometime in the future he's going to pan out, because they don't need him to pan out right now. So I like what Denver did with that pick, but I got to be honest, Coach, I am not a believer in him. I think he's injury prone. I don't know if he's ever going to pan out. He was so highly rated because of what he did in high school, but we never saw him do it on the college level. So I don't know, Coach. So many question marks with him. I'm just not on board, man.
Disappointing, man, because, he's got the size and ability. You see the highlights of when he was healthy, and it's impressive. But who knows if this guy's ever going to pan out? It's rough. If you have him, hang on to him. But, man, that's a hard pill to swallow that he's going to be out again. All right, these are all singles. Detroit, Brown, who played, decent amount last year. He's okay. Golden State, the only guy I marked was Pascal, the rookie from Villanova. I think he'll have a little bit of an impact. Houston, I have Vaughn marked down. He's got time in the league. He may step up. Here's a guy I put a circle around, though. Indiana's playing Aaron Holiday. I love Aaron Holiday. I think he was totally underrated. I don't know why he slipped in the draft. I mean, he's got two brothers in the dang league. What are people afraid of? And when I saw him get minutes last year, he was darn good. So I think he'll be the backup point guard there this year. So I think he'll have a big summer league.
Coach, you and I, we always seem to agree. Great minds think alike. I love Aaron Holiday, but Coach, I do gotta say, they just locked up Brogdon. They just gave a big contract to Brogdon. He looks like their point guard. They're in win now mode. I understand. They're going for it right now. Brogdon, I'm a fan of Brogdon. I do believe that was a good signing. But as an Aaron Holiday fan, it really kind of bummed me out because I was hoping he would be the starting point guard. And I know that's probably not smart thinking on my part because he is still young and a little inexperienced. And if you're going to win now, of course you would go Brogdon over him because Brogdon's got, he's more seasoned, he's more established. But, Coach, it was a buzzkill in one of my dynasty leagues where I have Aaron Holiday knowing that, my timeline to unleash Aaron Holiday just got longer. So it's somewhat of a buzzkill there for you Aaron Holiday fans, that Brogdon's there.
So you had like elation when you heard Collison was retiring, and deflation when Brogdon signed. Huh?
Yep. And you know,
well, hang on. I mean, he's still.
And you know, there were always rumors that the Pacers were shopping for a veteran point guard. In fact, I think Ricky Rubio. A lot of people thought Rubio was going to end up there. So I mean, it wasn't a major disappointment, but I was just hoping they would hand the reins over to the young kid. But wishful thinking on my part, Coach. Who else you got?
Hey, he's a turned ankle from Brogdon from being a major player there. So, you know, I think he's definitely locked up the backup. Well, let's see how he does in Summer League. I'll give you a bird's eye view. I'll tell him, hey, listen, my brother Adrian has you in his keeper league. Are you going to pan out? I'll ask him straight up.
I love, man, the holidays. I love them all, man. Drew, Justin, a lot of rumors right now. Where's Justin Holiday going to go? I'm hearing he could be interested in the Lakers, although they're in a holding pattern due to Kawhi. But, man, what a talented family, Coach. Could you imagine 3 guys in the league? It's just, I mean, it's so difficult for one guy. The odds of one guy in your family getting to the league. I always get amazed, Coach, when I see brothers and family members in the league together. It's just amazing, man.
It's crazy, and I'll tell you, it makes me feel really old because I remember when these guys' dads were stars in the league, like it was yesterday, and then all of a sudden, this generation's in here.
Oh, you know, Coach, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I'm not a young buck myself, and it is really strange when you start seeing kids of the guys you remember watching play in the league, and no shortage of that, man. We're hearing upcoming, you know, Pippen's kid, Shaq's kid. We know everyone's follow LeBron's son, D Wade's son. I mean, it's going to be crazy, Coach, that we're going to see. Oh, another sign, Coach, that I know I'm getting older is when you've seen players that you followed and been fans of become coaches and, like, presidents and general managers, guys like Elton Brand now leading this. It's just, it makes me feel old, Coach.
I'll tell you, dude, time flies by. I can't believe these guys are all, you know, coming into the league, but all right, I'll keep my pace here. The Clippers, Walton Jr., he got some good minutes at different times for the Clippers last year, so I think he'll show out a little bit in Summer League. I have nobody listed for the Lakers. So that's
very sad. Can I tell you, the Lakers were on the other night, and I was all excited. Oh, Lakers are on. I didn't know a single player out there. I lost interest completely, and I ended up changing the channel.
Oh, it's awesome. All right, here's my team that I picked to win the Summer League, dude. Even over the Knicks.
Who you got?
The Memphis Grizzlies. They have Kabuklo, who I used a lot last year, Carter, Rab, who started a bunch last year, Washburn, and Watanabe, who's been fantastic so far. So they have literally 5 guys that have some really good NBA experience or real high regarded rookies. Don't you think that team solid?
Does sound solid, Coach, but I'm still picking the Knicks, man. But, hey, that team sounds great. One other thing, I have been watching a little bit of Summer League, and one guy who's really caught my eye is Lonnie Walker of the San Antonio Spurs. He looked really good, Coach.
Dude, you're
I'm sorry.
That's a penalty. All right, we'll go to Miami. Speaking of hero, there he is, the hero of Kentucky now with the Heat, looking really good so far in Summer League. And Duncan Robinson, who can knock down a bunch of shots, and he is not shy.
Hero can shoot it, man. I mean, we knew that. We saw him do it in college. That was his biggest pro, right? Coming into the draft, a great shooter. But to see him do it in Summer League, Coach, I saw him pull up from the parking lot and drain it. And I'm like, man, if he can shoot like that in the NBA, he's going to have a solid career. Just to be a good shooter, there's a place for you in the league if you can hit threes consistently. And it looks like this kid can do that, man.
He can, and his form, it's tight and high, just like, similar to like a Klay Thompson, which means you can get the shot up quick and you can get it over people. So definitely maybe a real find for Miami, no doubt about it. But they took him pretty high. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
So, all right, Milwaukee, I've got Brown, Colson, and Wilson, DJ Wilson. So Milwaukee's not going to be bad at all. Those are three bigger guys that can play, and they all got minutes for Milwaukee last year. So that's cool that they have all those guys back. Minnesota's got two real studs. Bates, Diop, and Okogie are both playing. So those guys have some game. New Orleans has some guy called Zion. I'm not familiar with him. And then they also have Kenrich Williams, who played some great minutes last year. And my personal favorite player in the league, Christian Wood. So all three of those dudes are playing for New Orleans, so look out for them making a run too.
Nice.
And then here we go with the chalk Adrian Benjamins champions. Listen to this Knicks lineup, dude. This is better than the regular lineup. They have to stick all those overpaid free agents in there. They've got Barrett, Allen, Ellenson, Knox, Robinson, and Trier. Can you believe they're playing Mitchell Robinson and Trier with all these others? Malik Allen, or not Malik. What's Allen's name?
Kadeem.
Or that an old guy?
Kadeem Allen, yeah.
Kadeem. Malik
Coach, this team, Knox, Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Trier, is athletic, man. They are going to run teams out of the gym and play above the rim. Coach, I wish they would start this team. As you said, man, I like this team better than what their regular season team is going to look like, man. They're not going to win a lot of games, but who cares? Give this team to the kids. Let them learn. Let them make mistakes. Let them have fun. And I'm telling you, man, I'm excited to see this Knicks team in the summer league. I think they're going to win the whole thing, man.
They're definitely going to be the favorites. And, the Knicks have been terrible for 20 years, and they're going to be terrible probably for the next couple. But they may at least be able to say they won the summer league. So I'm going to be rooting.
Coach, they have like 20 forwards on their roster. They got Julius Randle, Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis, when they already have Kevin Knox slated, I thought, to kind of be their power forward of the future, although he could also play small forward. But you drafted R.J. Barrett, Coach. Coach, I mean, last year we saw some really strange stuff from Fizdale with his rotation. We'd see guys play big minutes one game, and then be a DNP CD the next game. So, man, Coach, for fantasy, I may just cross every single New York Knicks player off of my draft list. Maybe Mitchell Robinson I'll keep on there, but I don't trust Dennis Smith Jr., his inconsistency. See, they also added Elfrid Payton. Coach, man, the Knicks, what a mess, man.
A fantasy nightmare for sure, and a Knicks fan nightmare for sure, I think. But, hey, they do have some good young players. I mean, obviously RJ and with these other guys, Trier showed real good signs. So who knows? You never know who's going to pan out. All right, we're going to keep rolling here because I know we're running quick on time here. OKC, they have the guard Diallo, Check Diallo's little brother. He can play. He's playing, and then Evans is also playing. They both got some minutes for OKC last year. I think they'll be pretty good. Mo Bamba's playing for Orlando. That should be a show out too, because another head scratcher though. I mean, why would you draft Bamba and he'd be the future center, and then you keep Vukovic for long term, but you don't trade? But so Bamba's just going to be this super center getting 15 minutes off the bench? Head scratch.
I agree with you 100%, Coach. I've got Mo Bamba on my Dynasty League in the Hoop Ball, Dynasty League 2 League, 24 teams. I'm like, can't wait for Mo Bamba to be unleashed. I mean, Coach, all of the hype last year's draft. This is Clint Capella with the jump shot, his size, his length, his athleticism. I was so excited for him to just be let loose, and they lock Vucevic up with a big contract. Looks like he's going to be there for a while. Vucevic finished in the top 10 for fantasy, had an amazing season. Coach, why? I mean, I feel like they could have moved him, got some nice pieces or some nice assets back in return, and they didn't. And, Coach, I'm so sad, man.
I think what they'll probably do is they know well enough that, they probably just want to show that he's healthy and back. And I would assume that they'll move him at some point because he's just too strong of an asset to get out there. So anyway, all right. So Philly, Zaire Smith, who I love, Texas Tech kid, guard that can really score. I think he's going to have a great summer league. For Phoenix, Akobo, who started a bunch at point last year in that nightmare of Phoenix playing every point guard in the history of the league at some point during the year. But he should do well. And then Ray Spalding, he was a big man that played with a few teams, Mavs being one of them. He's got some good ability. I think he'll have a good summer league. And then Portland has 4 guys that I think can really play. Portland's another team to watch. Put a circle around them. Hornsby, Labissiere, who was supposed to be a big stud with Sacramento and never panned out. Simmons and Trent Jr. I like Trent Jr. coming out of Duke. But those guys can all play. They should be
that's a pretty good team, actually, Coach. I think they're going to finish, in that 3rd or 4th spot. I actually like that team a lot.
Yeah. And then you got Sacramento has Guy, the obviously the point guard from the national champs, who's looking good so far in summer league, and Thompson, who got some good minutes in the NBA. So I think that'll make them competitive. San Antonio has Lonnie Walker, who is sort of the darling of summer league so far, even though it's just barely beginning. But we knew he was going to be a stud when they took him in the lottery last year. That kid's going to force – I don't know. I'll tell you, that's another scenario. San Antonio's guards. I mean, I have Bryn Forbes in one of my keeper leagues, and I keep seeing him sink down because you got DJ is back this year or again, and he's had a heck of a year. And then you've got the kid coming back from injury, who's probably Deontay Murray, who's probably going to be their starter. And then, with Lonnie is a guard, 1-2 guard too. So I have no idea what their rotation is going to be, but he should do well. Then the rookie this year, Johnson, he's looking great out of the gates, like a steal. And Luka Samanic, their other rookie who was predicted to go higher, could be a monster steal. So Spurs will be competitive. I'm not sure. I wonder if Becky Hammonds is coaching them again. I think she took the Spurs to the finals a couple of years ago.
I believe she is, and I remember seeing a quote from her saying she wants to turn Lonnie Walker into a defensive savant. Like, she wants him to be and he definitely's got the skills. Love what I'm seeing from him so far in Summer League. Coach, I think they're backcourt of the future. I do like Forbes too, and definitely just hang on to that guy for your Dynasty League. But I'm really kind of hoping they can start DeJounte Murray and Derek White together. It's going to be really interesting to see how that backcourt shapes out. I think for sure pencil in DeJounte Murray, one of the best defensive guards in the league. So I think he's absolutely going to start. But after that, man, could definitely be Forbes. Lonnie Walker's looking good. Derek White kind of broke out, but was never really consistent. Was dealing with some minor foot injuries and stuff during the season. We know DeMar DeRozan is still there, so LaMarcus Aldridge, yeah. So it's the Spurs, Coach. I never doubt the Spurs. Just pencil them in to make the playoffs, man.
Yeah, they'll win their 45, 50 games and figure a way to do it. That's pop. All right, last couple of teams, brother. China, I have Yi. Remember Yi from Houston? 7'2" center, never panned out. He's Summer League wise, he played in Summer League for a couple of years in a row, rebounds and blocks. I have nobody for the Raptors at all. I didn't see anybody that stood out. For Utah, Willie Reed, who's a big guy that played some with the Knicks and Hornets and some different teams, I think he'll do well. He's a sort of a veteran G League guy that puts up numbers. I think he played for the Wizards for a while as well. And then the last team is the Wizards. Brown Jr., Jeff Withey, the old center from Kansas, who's still sticking around trying to make the league, and Hachimura, who I'm really high on, the lottery pick that Washington made this year. So I think they'll be somewhat competitive as well. So that's my rundown on who to watch for the Summer League. I know on our next show, by that time next week, we'll have all of this free agency sort of pan out, and we can go through, team by team and talk about free agency, how it finished and how it's going to affect teams. But this should give a good sense of what's going to happen in the Summer League, and then I'll certainly do several reports while I'm there. And then next week when we get back together, we'll wrap it all up.
Yeah, Coach, I think we can really start getting our hands dirty, diving deep into prep for next season once free agency's done, because now we know what are these depth charts looking like? What are these rotations going to look like? Coach, so much movement. The landscape of the whole league has completely flipped with all of the changes, all of these players, just Mike Conley going to Utah. We could do a whole show. So, yeah, Coach, I think as soon as free agency's over, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's start prepping for the upcoming season. And, Coach, can't wait to talk to you next week and see what's going down at Summer League. A great rundown of the players to watch, too, man. That was great stuff.
I'm excited. I heard Zion actually in the last 3 weeks with all the draft stuff and traveling and doing everything, he hasn't really been working out. And I read one report that he put on 15 pounds or something, and he's pushing close to 300. So I was going to try to go up to him and say, "Hey, Zion, I heard you got sort of out of shape." And, and then I was going to run
Coach,
like hell.
You know what drives me crazy is on some of these shows, I don't know if it was Get Up or The Jump, they're talking about Zion needing to lose weight and slim down. I'm thinking the opposite, man. Part of what makes him special is his size. We've never seen a guy that big jump from the free throw line and dunk, hit his head on the rim, and I've never seen it. It's what a mismatch nightmare. Can you imagine switching off of a pick and roll, a little point guard on Zion? He weighs 285 pounds. He's going to back smaller point guards down. Coach, Zion, don't change, brother. Don't listen to anyone. Do your thing. You're perfect, Zion. Don't change, man.
Well, he is a freak of nature. I can't remember. I remember for a lot of years watching guys come into the NBA. I remember when Charles Barkley broke into the NBA. Now, he was overweight and needed to trim down, and he did. And once he trimmed down a little bit, he was a superstar. But I even remember when he tried out for the USA Olympics, and Bobby Knight was the coach, and he dominated the tryouts. He got the ball and dunked on everybody. He was by far the best player. But Knight cut him because he said he was out of shape and he wasn't, getting the other players involved. And that sort of was a big motivating fact for Barkley. But I digress to that just because to say I do hear some of these reports that, hey, can he carry 285 to 300 pounds up and down the court? You know what? The guy has the biggest – he's got a higher vertical than Derek
Coach,
Jr.
I think he broke the vertical thing at the combine. I think it was 45 inches or something crazy like that.
So, he's in his own world. So who knows? But I think, if he stays at the 280, 285, I think he'll be fine. Now, if he does push over 300, I can see how that can take a little bit of a toll on the knees and ankles. But, I mean, the kid's what, 19, 20? I mean, if that, I don't know.
Coach, from what I understand, he's muscle. Like, his fat content, there's not a lot of fat on his body. So it's not like, it's not like he's carrying a lot of fat weight on him. It looks like muscle. Muscle, for everybody says muscle is heavier than fat. So maybe that's why, too, when he steps on that scale, it's a little heavier. Man, Coach Zion, we're going to see him tonight. I cannot wait. And then one last thing on Summer League, Coach. We are missing a couple guys. I'm really sad we're not going to see Darius Garland. What's up with that, man? I mean, we didn't get to see him a lot in college because he got hurt. He didn't work out at the combine, and now he's not playing Summer League. Is this kid healthy? I mean, why is he not at Summer League? John Morant, another guy that's missing. Now, I know he did have, I believe he had minor knee surgery, just like a cleaning procedure. So I'm hearing he is going to be ready for training camp. Not expected to miss, but major buzzkill that we're not going to see those two, arguably the two best point guards in this draft. We're not going to see them at Summer League. That's kind of a buzzkill, right, Coach?
Yeah, I'm disappointed for sure. I wanted to see Porter Jr. as well, but there's still a whole bunch of guys that, are going to be some breakthrough guys. I mean, don't sell this Ishimura from Washington short and some of these other guys that, were lottery picks, mid-level lottery picks. I think they're going to show
Coach, man, you're going to have a blast. I'm so jealous. I'm legitimately jealous. I wish I was going down there with you, man. I wish I could hang out with you down there. I'm, like, kicking myself right now. Anyways, Coach, we weren't sure what we were going to talk about on this show. We just spent 40 minutes talking Kawhi and Summer League. We were hoping to even talk about some free agency stuff. We don't even have time. Coach, this is ridiculous, man. We need to I think we need to get like our own daily show because we never run short of stuff to talk about, man. Great stuff. I always enjoy it, man. It's good stuff.
We're going to have to turn it up and do some more, some longer shows, I guess. We can't get it all in. But I think that, in saying that, next week's show, we may have to run a little over an hour just because the free agency wrap up. And obviously I'll be gushing over my Summer Leagues.
You know what? We are recording this in the morning, and we're crunched for time. Let's plan on recording this next show Thursday evening. I can go much longer there. Let's do a longer show. I want to hear everything that you learned or you saw at Summer League. Let's do a deep show, man. I'm sure, too, next week we're going to – most of these the remaining free agents will kind of land, so we're going to get a better idea of what's going on there. So, yeah, Coach, let's plan on doing a longer show next time. But, Coach, let's wrap a bow on this one. Where can the listeners find you at?
Well, and things are starting to heat up. I've been getting lots of new follows and comments. I'm on Twitter at Joe Sarvadi. That's JoeSarvadi, and you'll see in quotations Coach there. I go by Coach. And then at the hoop-ball.com, jump on the forums. We're starting to get a lot of chatter on there also. And then how about you?
I am at Adrian Benjamins. Hit me up. Send us your questions. We're going to eventually start doing ending the show with a little like question and answer segment. Although the way we've been doing our shows right now, man, is like never time. But I definitely eventually want to start doing that. And hit us up. As I said earlier, Coach, we're going to start getting down to the nitty gritty. I mean, you and I. Our whole purpose for being here is to prepare the listeners for their upcoming season. We've kind of been holding off on that because we knew there was going to be so much change with the draft and with free agency. That's finally starting to come to a close, so we can start really digging deep here, Coach. So we got our work. We got a lot of work in front of us now, Coach, and I can't wait to dive into it. Hey guys, thank you guys so much for listening and for supporting the show. We will see you guys next week.
See you in Vegas.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.